Imagine this. Hours before cameras were set to roll, Disney executives stepped in and made a decision that stunned Hollywood. Jimmy Kimmel Live, a staple of late-night TV, was suddenly yanked off the air. Fans were left asking one burning question: why now? And who had the power to silence Kimmel? This wasn't just a routine scheduling change. What unfolded was a clash between corporate power, political pressure, and the voice of one of television's biggest personalities. And the story of how it all happened is far more dramatic than anyone expected. To understand why Disney pulled the plug, we need to go back to the moment Jimmy Kimmel lit the fuse with a single controversial monologue. It all started with a single monologue. On September 15th, Jimmy Kimmel took aim at MAGA supporters while addressing the shocking death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Instead of steering clear of controversy, Kimmel leaned in, telling his audience that some Trump loyalists were trying to paint Kirk's killer as anything but one of their own. Those words lit up social media within minutes. To some, it was classic Kimmel, sharp, unfiltered, and brutally honest. But to others, especially on the political right, it crossed a line. The backlash came fast, louder than anyone expected, and it quickly escaped the world of late-night comedy. And once the outrage spread beyond Twitter and cable news, the pressure landed on powerful figures who weren't laughing: federal regulators and the very stations that broadcast Kimmel's show. The outrage didn't stay confined to angry tweets. Within days, the nation's biggest broadcasting giants started to act. Nexstar Media, which controls more than 200 local stations, announced it would preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live entirely. Sinclair Broadcast Group soon followed, echoing the same stance. For millions of viewers across the country, the show simply vanished overnight. And then came an even bigger shock. Brendan Carr, the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, publicly blasted Kimmel's remarks as some of the sickest conduct possible. He didn't stop there. Carr warned that the FCC could step in against broadcasters who failed to serve the public interest. It was a direct shot across the bow, and one Disney could not afford to ignore. With pressure mounting from regulators and affiliates, all eyes turned to Disney's top brass. The question became, would they back their late-night star or cut him loose? Behind the scenes, the decision came down to two of the most powerful names in Hollywood: Disney CEO Bob Iger and entertainment co-chair Dana Walden. Hours before Kimmel was set to step on stage, Walden picked up the phone and called him directly. According to insiders, the conversation was calm, even polite, two professionals carefully choosing their words. But beneath that business-like tone, the stakes couldn't have been higher. Kimmel listened, Disney explained, and by the end of the call, the verdict was clear: the show would not air. For a late-night host who'd weathered countless controversies before, this moment was different. It wasn't about ratings or comedy. It was about corporate survival. And once the call ended, the fallout was immediate. Stations dropped the show, headlines exploded, and Kimmel suddenly found himself at the center of a national storm. The announcement landed like a bombshell: Jimmy Kimmel Live, off the air indefinitely. For viewers who tuned in nightly, the sudden blackout was baffling. For insiders, it was a clear signal: Disney had bowed to pressure. Affiliate stations rushed to fill the late-night gap with reruns and replacement programming. Headlines across the country framed it as a showdown over free speech, and critics accused Disney of silencing one of television's most outspoken voices. Social media lit up with hashtags demanding Kimmel's return, while his opponents celebrated what they saw as a long overdue reckoning. Even more startling, advocacy groups and Hollywood unions began weighing in, warning that if a veteran host like Kimmel could be silenced, no entertainer was safe from corporate or political retaliation. What started as one monologue had now grown into a national debate. But this wasn't the end of the story. Just days later, Disney would face a new dilemma, and it forced them to reconsider their decision entirely. After days of public backlash, internal discussions, and mounting pressure from fans and media insiders, Disney made an unexpected move. Jimmy Kimmel Live was returning to the air. The decision shocked both viewers and industry insiders, signaling that the network had decided the controversy had run its course. or at least that the cost of keeping the show off air was too high. Details of the reversal remain mostly behind the curtain, but sources say executives weighed the growing uproar from free speech advocates, the social media storm, and the potential damage to Disney's late-night brand. Kimmel himself addressed the hiatus with his signature mix of humor and honesty, acknowledging the situation without diving into the political maelstrom that had sparked it. In a matter of days, what had seemed like a permanent suspension became a temporary pause. But the episode left an indelible mark, not just on Kimmel, but on the networks, the affiliates, and the delicate balance between entertainment and politics. The Kimmel saga isn't just about one late-night host. It's a glimpse into the high-stakes world where entertainment, politics, and corporate decisions collide. When a major network like Disney can pull a show in response to controversy, it raises questions about creative freedom and the power of external pressures. Affiliates flex their muscle, regulators voice sharp criticism, and social media amplified every reaction. For hosts, writers, and producers, it's a clear reminder. No joke or commentary exists in a vacuum anymore. Every word can trigger ripple effects that reach the highest levels of media and government. So the question remains, will this incident make networks more cautious? Will hosts self-censor to avoid controversy? Or will it ignite a new era of bold, fearless commentary? And most importantly, what does it mean for viewers who depend on late-night TV for unfiltered takes on the world? As the dust settles, one thing is certain. Jimmy Kimmel's ordeal is far from just a story about a single monologue. It's a sign of how tightly the strings of power are pulled in today's media landscape. Jimmy Kimmel Live's sudden suspension and rapid return revealed the delicate balance between comedy, corporate decision-making, and political pressure. What started as a single monologue spiraled into a high-stakes clash involving top executives, major media affiliates, and even federal regulators. Disney's actions, the affiliates' refusals to air the show, and the public backlash all highlight one undeniable truth. In today's media landscape, every word carries weight, and the line between entertainment and controversy has never been thinner. As viewers, we're left to wonder, what is the future of late-night commentary? Will networks tighten their reins, or will hosts continue to push boundaries, knowing the consequences could reach all the way to the top? Jimmy Kimmel's ordeal may have ended on air, but the questions it raised are far from settled, leaving audiences across the country watching closely, wondering what comes next.